What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. Terrell Owens recently was on the Chad Ochocinco show. I don't know whose it was, Shannon Sharp's, but it was on one of these shows and it was a live stream. And Terrell Owens, who is one of my favorite receivers, as you know, I'm a Niner fan, so he played many years in San Francisco, but he had a tumultuous upbringing, a terrible grandmother as it appears, and some disjointed relationship with his mother. All right. So he documents, because we all know Terrell Owens at one point was considered a head case. And this is why, right? Because of how he grew up. But he talks about his experience in dating black women. I want to play this particular clip and then I want to come back.
My experiences with black women growing up wasn't so good. When I started dating white girls, my first experience with white girls is when I went to college. I tried to date some black girls when I was in college. They did not like me. I was skinny. I was strong.
Right.
I was teased from high school, even to college. I got teased for being dark skinned.
Damn,
So
they tease you, cuz?
Yeah. So there was a lot of self-esteem issues.
Right.
No, I'm being dead honest. So when I got my opportunity, when my first experience with a white girl, I'm like, okay, it wasn't bad, but that wasn't. I just totally gravitated to white girls after that.
Right.
That wasn't the situation. So again, my experiences with black women growing up wasn't so good. So, but that still didn't deter me from still dating or pursuing black girls. Right. So my thing now is, because I know there's the stigma, the stereotypical of athletes, you know, to go off and date the opposite color, opposite race. But for me now, where I am, it's not even about color. It's not even about race. For me, it's about somebody that I have some chemistry with, good energy, and I get a good vibe with. Right. That's where I am. Like I said, we all want somebody that's attractive.
Right.
You know what I mean? Aesthetics going to play a big part in it. Anybody that says, oh, well, I don't care what the person looks like, that's a lie. That's a lie. We all want somebody that we can roll over and wake up to, that's, you know what I mean, that looks pleasing to the eye. Everybody's experiences have been different. For me, when I grew up, I was in my high school pretty much is 50, I don't know what percentage black, white, but I lived in a black neighborhood. So at the end of the day, I attempted to date black girls. When I was younger, I wasn't as handsome as I am now. I didn't have this beautiful smile as I have now.
You hit puberty.
Right. I was a late bloomer.
Yeah.
And when I bloomed, boy, did I bloom.
So let me deal with this if I can. And I think this can go both ways, right? But I want to talk about this in this term. Firstly, he says, a lot of black women did not like me when I was in college. They talked about me, things like that. This is something that obviously we know that can happen or that has happened. All right. So this is not something that is new, but I want you to hear what he said. Despite me not getting the opportunity from black women, I did not deter or use that against black women in pursuing further relationships with black women. All right. Furthering relationships with black women. But then he said this, and I feel like this is very important for black men. Now it's not so much about race, but it's about qualities. And when I hear that, I'm thinking, if that is the case, it's going to be very difficult. And this is no shade on anybody, but when a black man says that, it's almost all over but the shouting. And I want to go through what is happening in black America with black men. And this is something that I have seen, like the guys who grew up, those of you from the 80s and 90s, that means our mothers came from the Black Power movement around that time, our parents. So SNCC, the Black Panther Party, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, our parents in that generation were influenced by them. That's why you heard the Public Enemies coming out with the rapping and all that kind of stuff. You know, some of the people like Common, the neo soul artist, Erykah Badu. The seeds of those people were evident in the first generation of hip hop, KRS-One. Okay, that was that generation. Then after that, then we started getting a little bit of parity with dating other races. Now, for me, coming up in the 90s, coming up in the last Medea era, that dying breed, the black church was still somewhat strong. Having a black wife was something that was necessary. But then you started hearing black men sound like Terrell Owens here, which means that, okay, I'm not gonna deter my past experience from dating black women. Some, like Dennis Rodman, just stayed away from it altogether, right? But he's saying now it's not about race. And that is where we are. So what men are saying is, I'm gonna let whoever is the best candidate come and compete for my time and services. Once you get there, it's all over. And that's what you see in Black America. And it's a lot of black men who are in the middle. That's what's going on. It's a lot of black men say, okay, I had some problems with sisters before, but you know, that's not a reason why I would not date them. But at the same time, I'm not gonna give them the first right of refusal anymore. I'm going to let them compete with everybody else to see what their character is like in comparison to somebody who's not, you know, black. Whereas somebody like me, I'm only dealing with the black. I'm not dealing with no. I've put myself in a position. I'm in Africa. You know, I'm a pro-black. So I've put myself in a position where I can only deal with the blacks. But here's the point that I want to talk about. Every black man is not like me. There are still some, but they're not. And once you gotta compete based on what you're supposed to be doing, then you're gonna have a problem. You're gonna have a problem. Because a lot of these black men are being exposed, and then what they're gonna do is, all right, I'm dating a white girl. It's cool. Dating a Latino, it's cool. Then some of them will get passports. And I'm not saying these ladies are perfect, but then what they're gonna do is they're gonna say, all right, you know, let me assess what's best for me after seeing what I've seen. Now I won't deter dealing with a black woman, but like I said, if it's not up to what this is, then again, as long as she's attractive, and for the most part, if you're a black man, and you know, like I said, my mother had treated me very nice when I came up. But if you're a black man and somehow your mom didn't treat you in the right way for whatever reason, your mom, you know, you're gonna feel like she disrespected you for whatever reason. You cannot expect that kind of black man to be crazy about black women. I'm sorry, you're just not gonna see that. You can pretend that's gonna be the case, but you're not gonna get it. So those black men who already have an issue with their mother, that's just gonna be a problem. You know, they're already gonna have one strike against them, like grandma mad, grandma mean, something like that. Look, no, let's. Let me see what else is out there. Once you go there, it's it. So guys, what do you think about this? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. All right, appreciate you for subscribing to the bell. We're out.